Hello and welcome back. This is part 2. If you've not already seen part 1, please make sure you do. This is just showing you how to play Townstar, and in this we'll be sort of taking it on a bit further in this part. So in the first part of the game took about an hour or so. I'm just going to turn the volume down for me on here. It's a little bit loud. That's a bit better. The first part of the game, we were looking to get some wool production up and running as quickly as possible. To that end, we've ended up with lots of wheat fields. We've got lots of farmers. We've got lots of ranchers. We've got lots of sheep on the go, and may look to add some more troughs and some more feed mills. But at the minute, I'm just waiting to get another 10 wool. Not, the first 2 batches of wool that we sold in part 1. The first batch of wool that I sold, I used to buy another sheep pen, which was this one. And then the second batch of wool, we used to buy another sheep pen, which is this one. The next batch of wool, I'm not going to buy any sheep pens. We'll now start to think about the bigger picture, the bigger infrastructure. I've put these roads over here earlier, which was to look at getting some energy underway, to get some windmills going, start creating energy. Once we've got the energy, we'll then need to have somewhere to store it, so perhaps we can have a warehouse somewhere around here. We'll then need to look at thinking about water facilities, create some water and some oil pumps as well. So these can perhaps go around here. If I clear this marsh, that could be a road, which could then have the water facility, which could then have oil pump, because they all need to be next to a road. So that's probably what I'm going to look at doing. So in fact, I'll let's do that. Let's clear that road. It's always painful, costs money. Let's create the road. And now we can get the oil pump on one of these, and we can get the water facility on another. Let's see how these sheep pens are doing. Some wool going to be ready soon, and some wool's going to be ready. So we're going to have 2 more bits of wool ready soon, which will take us up to 8. By the time those are done and delivered, then this one in the middle will probably also be ready as well. So yeah, it's ticking along. It's all well and good at the minute. Gonna need a warehouse again. Probably pop that here. I think a warehouse is 20,000, if I do remember right. Sorry, 10,000. Only 10,000 for a warehouse. That's fine. Wind turbines 2,500. We can look to get those going fairly soon. Again, as I said in the first video, the wind turbines won't do too well because of the location next to trees, so they like to be sort of out in the open by themselves, on a plain basically, which is an option. We've chosen the forest route here, but if they were on the plains, then that would be a lot better. The wool's ready there, and then these ones just need to fatten themselves up, and now they're eating all the feed. I'm going to look to get some more feed mills on the go. It'd be nice at some point to maybe get rid of this farmhouse, relocate that, and pop another silo there. But those are things that can come later when we've got a bit more cash. So just a waiting game at the minute. Waiting for the wool. I'm just checking on these feed mills. Generally doing okay with the feed and the wheat. Again, I think just another couple of feed mills will be just about right. But the balance overall isn't too bad. We can see the silo, you know, it's hovering around the 16 mark, so there's wheat going in, wheat coming out, which is what you want. You don't want it to be totally full, obviously you don't want it to be empty, you want it to sort of be hovering around the maximum amount, to be perfectly honest. I may look at selling some, just to get some cash in. Off we go. Right, we've got 2 batches of wool on the way, and then the third will be ready once these sheep eat all this feed. And once we've got the wool, then we'll be able to get our warehouse underway. So it normally takes me about 2 hours in total. So this, you know, we'll call this part 2. Well, it is part 2. If we do this for another hour, and then at the end of this hour, then everything should be pretty much fully functioning and automating almost. You know, the only thing you need to come in and do each day is to come in and click sell. So clicks on there, and yeah, I'm just waiting for the wool to give us more cash, because I'd like to buy a warehouse, I'd like to buy an oil pump. I can afford to put some wind farms in, so I may as well get them underway actually. Which so wind turbines. Let's pop these in. I'm gonna go for 3. As I mentioned, they will impact each other. They're also impacted by the trees, etc. So they're not going to produce energy at a great rate. However, it's better just to have it underway. So the builders will go off and help to get them underway, and it might take 7, 8, 9 minutes on each one to create the energy battery, which is fine, because in 7, 8, 9 minutes we should have the wool sale, and you know, then we'll have more cash, and then we'll have the warehouse to put the energy in, so it's not going to be wasted. So talking of wool, there's the wool. As soon as that's back, which is all we're really waiting for now, as soon as that's back, we can then look to get the other, you know, like the warehouse created. We can then look to get the water facility underway. We can then look to get the oil pump underway, and we can then look to get the refinery. Once we've got the refinery, we can then start creating petroleum. Once we've got petroleum, we can then start creating gasoline. As I mentioned in the first video, the only thing is it's a long distance from the fuel storage to the stuff that we're building over here. So we may want to. In fact, that wind turbine's doing very well. However, once I create this one, it'll probably impact it. Yeah, you can see, so it's gone from a green, it's gone from a green down to an amber, and that's because I think they affect sort of 2 squares away. So you'd have to have it sort of over here really, but you know, there's only so much space, so I don't mind if I have them affecting each other. We can just look to space them out as we need them. And hooray, we have some big cash, so let's get a warehouse underway. We can then look to get a water facility underway. We can look to get an oil pump underway. Does that need to go near a road? Yes, it does. I always have to check, because some of these do, some of these don't. So that's going to keep the builders busy. Probably worth creating another builder for a minute, just to get these jobs done. The silo is full, so let's just sell some of that wheat, because otherwise the wheat that gets produced just explodes and it's a waste. We don't like to waste food, do we? Right, so the builders, yeah, they're walking very slowly, so I might look to create a road across here to speed that up a little bit. So that will help them a little bit. Now you can see all of them have turned red. So I've slowed them all right down because they're all impacting one another, because they impact 2 squares away. So that one's affecting that one, which affects that one, and they all affect each other. But they do need to place near a road. So again, at the moment, while we've got trees everywhere, there's not really too much juggling around I can do with that, because I can't afford to get rid of all the trees. But things are hotting up a little bit now, so we've got, you know, new action underway. I can create a couple of bits of road here, because to get rid of these rocks is $40,000, which we will do if we get onto maybe a part 3. We will be getting rid of everything. We'll clear the whole site if you want to take it to the next level. But we can see now that this is just creating a path through to what's going to be our sort of dirty side of it, where we're going to create oil and petroleum and gasoline, all the fun stuff. It will make it quicker for getting over to here, which is the intention. To get rid of that could be an option. I don't think we're needing the water at present to water any of the crops. The only crop we have is wheat, and all of this wheat is being serviced by the marsh. Anything that's within, I think, 3 squares gets some water from the river. Anything that's within 2, well, all of this is getting enough water from the river, which is great. Yeah, so we're not actually needing this well at the minute. So to get rid of it, will give us some cash and allow us to connect that road. So that may be what I do. Just trying to think. Let's see how much it is to put a well in, if we need a well at some point. To put a well in, it's not very much. 1,250. Yeah, it's not too bad at all. So I'll tell you what. Let's get rid of that. And let's get another road in there. And the oil pump is underway. If we clear this marsh and make a road, then we can look to get the refinery there. So then we'll have the pump creating the crude oil, we'll have the water facility, we'll have a warehouse, we'll have a refinery, all close together. Again, the only thing that's out of the way is the fuel storage. So I could look at putting fuel storage closer, just need to check how much that is. 15,000, so that'll be within budget once we've got some more wool underway. We'll also need a workhouse. So at the minute we've got farmers and we've got ranchers. We'll also need a worker, because the worker is the one who will collect a lot of these things and drop them off at different facilities. So that's something that we need to look at going forward. So let's get rid of this marsh. I know that I'm going to get rid of all the marshes at some point anyway. And let's get that terrain in there. So this is just building for the next phase now. Down here, how are the sheep getting on? One's ready. It's the feed. Looks like we need a bit more feed, so I think I need another feed mill. So once we've got more wool, I will probably look to clear out one of these trees, maybe this one, and get a feed mill in there, and get that. In fact, probably the amber tree rather than the green tree, because the green tree grows faster. Okay, so you know, patient, but you can see it's coming along quite nicely in my opinion. What I'll look to do later in the play as well is probably clear out a lot of these ranch houses and farmhouses away from the river and stick them inland, so you know we could have a little batch of these would be all maybe farmhouses in here or all ranch houses, doesn't matter, or whatever, or a mixture. And then down near the river we can put things in which need water so that we don't need to worry about supplying them with water. For example, we can put our own trees, because eventually we'll clear all these trees down, we'll put a proper sort of forest in there, and that grows quicker and it's better for harvesting, etc. Anyway, so one wool's ready. Yeah, we're just waiting on the feed really, so I just need to be patient. I'd love to get rid of this tree right now, but to do that we need to get to 10 wool, so we're going to be at 8 wool shortly, and then yeah, there's plenty of feed coming in now, which is good. There's the first oil drum. The person who runs the oil facility actually takes that to here, to the storage. We can see that this windmill has stopped, so that the energy is ready to be collected. So that's good news. So the energy is ready. So what we actually need now is a worker to do some work and go and collect that for us. So let's get a worker underway. Oh, there's a tree in the way. There's always a tree, so just when you can't see it, there it is. If I swivel it around, there's a tree there. So let's put the worker here. I'll keep it round in this orientation just so I'm not messing with your head too much on my own, because you get used to looking at it in a certain way. I can obviously swing it round. You can just to check if there's trees behind, but yeah, I tend to just keep it in the same orientation, to be honest. Makes it easier for me. If you prefer to keep swiveling around, then that's fine as well. Whatever works for you is the best thing for you. We've got 3 water drums already, so that water facility, you can see it needs 3 out of 3 water, and it's being supplied with that 3 out of 3 water from the river. So once I click this worker, he should come out of his house with his massive belly, and off he goes, and he's going to head straight to these wind turbines. He's going to pick up the energy battery and he's going to take it to the warehouse, and that's what this is going to be filled with. So we're going to be filled with water, water drums and energy. Right, how are the sheep doing? We just need one more wool. And now he's going to pick up the crude oil. Which seems to be spilling everywhere. And off he goes. He's got to go on this long road now, like I say, all the way down to this fuel storage here. So this does take us a bit of time, because meanwhile there's another energy that needs collecting from there and from there. So maybe I'll get us another worker soon. So we've got 2 of them on this, but I may just look to build one of these a little bit closer, because if that was here, for example, it's a very short walk for the crude oil, and if we end up with the oil with the refinery here, it's a short sort of delivery drop off as well. So that's what I'm going to look at doing. Oh, and the wool's ready to sell, so things will start motoring now. See how we're doing on the old scoreboard. We're actually 34th in the world at the minute. Quite happy with that. Remember, that's with no NFTs, so I'm sure the people in the top 10 have got NFTs. Yeah, crazy number. But quite happy with that, with no NFTs. Obviously, I do have, if you check my other videos, I do have NFTs, but I'm not using them in this example because I want to show you how to get started, you know, from zero, from scratch, without anything. I've had a lot of requests to do this, so yeah, it's really quite good to do actually, because you do almost get a bit lazy, or you get used to playing the game a different way when you have NFTs, because some of the NFTs I have automatically give me water, some of them automatically give me the crude oil, etc. You know, if you've got wheat stands, they automatically give wheat. You can just pop a wheat stand here and then surround it with feed mills, and the feed mills are automatically supplied with all the wheat they need. So NFTs, you know, have real sort of utility and good function within the game. So we have some cash. So fuel storage is 15,000. The refinery must be next to a paved road, and it can create petroleum, gasoline and jet fuel. The jet fuel, I'm sure that's for something later down the line. There'll probably be planes and things, I would imagine, but you generally just make that to sell at present. To make the gasoline, you actually need petroleum to make the gasoline, so you have to make the petroleum first, then you make gasoline out of the petroleum. 15,000 must be near a paved road, so we need to make the road paved. So this one here will upgrade the road, which will cost 9,750. That will then allow us to make the paved road. Been nice to get that fuel storage sorted. It's going to take us another couple of sales. Anyway, this, as I like to say, this will give the builders something to do. Let's get another worker on the case. Don't think we necessarily need that pasture field anymore, although what harm is it doing really, I guess. Just thinking about where to put my worker. Pop him down here out of the way. So if you look at the workers' rates, or all of my workers' rates, should I say, not just, you know, all the ranchers, the farmers, etc., they're up to £410 a minute, which is probably an hour in game time. My workers are more expensive; they're $60 an hour, so they really bump it up. Like ranchers are only $10 an hour, which is good. So I'm going to need another sale of wool until we can start moving along. But the next few sales of wool will really sort of ramp things up. I'm going to do it. I'm going to get rid of this tree. It's been annoying me a little while, and we're going to add the feed mill. That'll just increase the feed production slightly, which will then mean the sheep get fed a little bit more. Well, get fed more quickly. I'm just noticed a farmer appears to be. He was going back to his house to have a sleep then. I don't know if you saw this little fella. He's now going back to work, which is what I want. I've got a worker here who's asleep, which is quite frustrating, as I've just paid for a new one here. That's because the oil pump's not ready and the wind turbines are not ready. So, well, yeah, that's why. They're all going to be ready at the same time. Then I'll need the 2 workers. But again, as we progress, I'll probably get some more crude oil pumps underway, and then maybe, well, we'll have more wind farms, etc. as well. Anyway, how the builder's doing? Right, the feed mill's ready. It's been used straight away, which is good. So we should see the sheep getting fed a little bit quicker. Off he goes with his crude oil. Just need 2 more wood taken to this fuel storage facility. Down to $3,200. Contemplating selling some wheat, but may hang on for the wool. This is where I want to pop a refinery. Which is there. $15,000. Costs $200 in labour per minute, which is quite a lot compared to everything else that we're doing. These oil pumps are going to need plenty of crude oil, so I'm going to get these underway. I'll need to have a think about. They need to go next to a road, so I need to just think about exactly where they're going. I can probably pop one here, maybe pop one here, for example. Although maybe I'd like to join this up as a road at some point. You know, so these are all things I'm thinking. Maybe I'll just put a road there. Yeah, just need to a little bit of forward planning. Gonna need more warehouses, especially for the water. Might just sell some wheat at the minute, the silo's full. Yeah, so it's just a case of waiting. You know, that sheep pen's underway, the wool's nearly ready, on there. Everything's just about ticking over quite nicely. I could, you know, potentially sell this pond. Don't really need it anymore. This wheat can be shifted down here, for example. So that is something you could look to do if you so wished. But I'm prepared just to wait. Only needed three more wool. There's one. These two will be ready soon. Plenty more feed going in. The warehouse is a concern, shall we say. What I'm gonna do, because the warehouse is gonna be full. Warehouse is full, should I say. So I'm just gonna click on it. I'm gonna stop it making water for now, because I need to get another warehouse underway, which I can't afford. Because a warehouse costs $10,000. I don't quite have yet. Not until this wool is done. I could look at selling the water, but it's always a case of how much do they sell for. 10 drums of water, $500. Simply not worth the exchange for the fuel, in my opinion. Especially when you compare it to how much we'll get for 10 wool in a minute. You know, even the 10 wheat's better, because at least you get $3,000 Energy only sells for 1,500. Crude oil only sells for 500. Gasoline, you could look to sell your gasoline, but I wouldn't recommend it. 3,400. You just need to be patient and wait for the wool, which is what I'm doing, which is what I recommend you do. Obviously, you can get set up like this yourself. Just copy what I'm doing. You just need to be patient through these little slower times, shall we say? And yeah, we'll get there. We will get there. So just to sort of surmise what I'm waiting to do at the moment, I'm looking to get another warehouse underway in one of these areas. I'm looking to get some more crude oil underway because we've now got extra space for those. So I need to get a warehouse really. I need to get more crude oil, and then once we've kind of got those built up to a good level, we then need to get the refinery underway creating petroleum. Petroleum will use the energy and the water, and then it'll pop it in the fuel storage. We'll then be able to collect that. Anyway, the wool's ready, so let's sell that. So we've now used 21 of our initial starter of 40. So we're down to 19 gasoline. So no need to panic about the gasoline yet. We know if we just leave the game running, we're going to create wool. You know, it's pretty much automating itself now in terms of wool production, which is exactly what we want. All we need to do now is take the logic we've applied here and apply it to the gasoline. What you need for the gasoline and the petroleum is water, which comes from the drums. But what you can do, or what we will look to do, is if we do put the gas, let's say we put the refinery here, which we will do, we can then look to put here, we can put a water pump, and because the refinery will be next to the water pump, that will supply it without the need for these water drums. So that's something we'll be looking to do. So I'm going to put a little road here, just a normal road, because at some point that will be paved, and then that will allow us to put the pump there, because I think I'm correct in saying that the water pump needs to be next to a paved road, as a lot of things do. No, sorry, it doesn't need to be next to a paved road, so that's great. So we don't need to bother with that. But we will know. We'll have a road there anyway to connect everything up. Gasoline should be back. Excellent. We have some cash. Alright, let's get another warehouse underway, which is the most critical at the moment, I would say. Let's pop that there so it's not a million miles away. Or no, let's pop the warehouse here. And let's get another crude oil pump on the go. Hopefully the builders will wake up. Oh, I see we're actually short of wood at the moment. I was wondering what was slowing down the wool production. Yeah, we're actually short of wood. Because the sheep pens take wood as well. So it depends who grabs the wood first, whether it's a rancher or whether it's a builder. Hopefully that builder, I don't know if the builder's going to get out in front of these ranchers, because the ranchers are pretty swift. Yeah, the builder's going to get that, which is good. I think we should get another lumberjack underway. So a lumberjack probably going to need to be next to a road, which I always forget. Let's put a road there, gives us the surround that I like. And let's pop the lumberjack in the middle of this little patch of trees. Yeah, and that'll get our wood production up. In fact, let's have 2 of them. Just to make sure we've got plenty of wood. So they'll harvest all these trees all the way around here now as well. Yeah, so the only thing slowing down this wool production, you see that's missing 1 wood. That one's underway, that one's ready, so it's fine. It's not slowing the wool production down too much, but it is slowing the building process down, because I note that 1, 2, all 3 of my builders are currently fast asleep, but still taking the wages. Cheeky gets. I'm going to put another bit of terrain there, another bit of road, and get some more wind farms on the go. Or wind turbines, should I say. Keep calling them wind farms. Because we will need plenty of energy. So these wind farms will be up and running soon. Yeah, we're just waiting on wood, so we've got a wood supply, so you do need to keep an eye on things as we go. Something I've probably not sort of done perfectly on this, but it's never an issue for later on once we've got extra cash. But something that I've not done perfectly well is to think about later on, like we use these wind turbines to create energy, but what you can end up doing is creating a power plant. And if you have a power plant and your power plant is located next to your refinery, then your power plant will automatically supply your refinery with the energy it needs, so you're not having to create your energy and then pop it in, for example. So what you would ordinarily look to do is to maybe put the water plant, you know, here, put a water pump here, and I would then have, just trying to get the right layout, actually the right configuration. Maybe I'd have 2 water pumps, a refinery, and a power station. So the water is supplied to the power station, the water gets supplied to the refinery, but the power station would then supply the refinery. So maybe instead of putting the refinery there, I should look to put it here with the water pump. So I may put the refinery here. So I'm just going to move the location. Doesn't really matter because, you know, it was only going there, but that's the reasoning why. And you'll see later on as we get rid of these trees and put water pumps in, you'll see why I've made that decision. So that's where I'm going to look to put it. Meanwhile, we're up to 8 wool, which is great. The only bit I don't like about this scenario is that I would not ordinarily have had the road eventually running through here, and then maybe had the refinery here and the pump there, so I can get, you know, a nice little square. I feel like I'm creating a dead end here, but it can always be done at an angle. I just like to have perfect squares. Right, I've got the warehouse underway. So all the energy that's now created will not be wasted. How about the refinery? Materials needed. Always worth checking your materials needed. It only needs 5 wood, but as you get into the more complicated things, you may find that you need some lumber, like that one there. So before you go to build a power plant, you need to get lumber. So to get lumber, you need to have you need a lumber mill, and the lumber mill, to create the lumber, it'll need a supply of wood. It will also need a supply of water. It will need a supply of energy. So these are all sort of little intricacies. So always double check the materials needed before you just sort of throw something in. But we know that we're going to need a refinery, so let's get it in there. I'm going to look to get a water pump underway. And hooray, we've got some wool on the way to the city. Yeah. Be nice to get this next phase underway. Probably stick another wind turbine in here. You can see the wood supply is a lot better now. I mean, we're only down at a couple, but that's all we need really, because it only holds 10 anyway. Anyway, there's some cash. Let me just check how much a water pump is. 50,000, I think. Yeah, 50,000. So that's a little way off yet, but it will be very useful when we get there. As I say, you know, slowly catch your monkey. Slowly but surely. And the refinery is underway. Now we can choose what we want to craft. So to make gasoline, which is our ultimate aim, we need 1 petroleum, 2 water drums and 6 energy. But to make 1 petroleum, we need 2 crude oils, 1 water drum and 2 energy. So we know we've got plenty of water drums coming out of our ears, we've got energy underway, and we've got plenty of crude oil at the minute. So that's what we're going to make. When that's made, so this fella here, he'll go and collect crude oil from here, from the fuel storage. He'll pop it in. You'll see that'll be 1 of 2 required. He'll then go and get the second one. So what's nice here, the way we've set it up, is it doesn't have very far to go. And now he's not got far to go to the warehouse to get the water, nor the energy. So whenever you're sort of planning a build, you need to think about the proximity of things to one another. So now I've got a bit of cash in the bank. I don't really need to spend too much at the moment, but I will be looking at clearing these trees. I will then be looking at putting water pumps in. But for now I'll probably just focus on the infrastructure a bit more. Yeah, I think we're still okay with one trough at present. It's not really getting full, so we're okay with one trough. Maybe to cut down on the walk, we could maybe look at putting the silo there. That would seem to make more sense. Maybe we could look at putting the wood storage down here as well. Would also seem to make sense. So then we'd have to rejig these around. So you know, if we build a road, little road somewhere, can we then move the ranches and things over here? So basically, can we move the wood storage? Because having to walk all the way down this road to put the wood into the sheep pens, whereas if it was closer, they wouldn't need to do that. So let's look at moving a few of our properties, and we're going to look now to tidy this section up. So that's one rancher. Let's get rid of this farmer as well. Make a bit of space. Now we've got a bit of extra wood, it will help. What you may find is when I put the silo closer, when I put the wood storage closer, we may then find that some of the ranchers are going to sleep because they're not having to walk as far, so it's not taking them as long. You know, therefore they're doing it quicker, so you don't need as many. We can also look at moving the storage down here as well. So again, you're always looking at trying to get all your production all in a line. So we'd have all the wheat here, the wheat goes to a silo, and you know, it then goes from the silo. We've got the wood down here as well. Who's this? The lumberjack's asleep there. There's not enough trees, so we need to look at getting trees on the go as well. That's another consideration. Might sound daft, but let's get some trees underway. Tree farm. You'll see that this doesn't need any watering because it's next. Oh, I do tell a lie. I didn't think that I'd need any watering because it is next to a river. That has surprised me. So for that to come to fruition, we now need to have a well. So perfect illustration of thinking things through. So I'm loath to get rid of these trees because they grow, they're green, so they're growing quickly. The red ones I'm quite happy to get rid of. I'd imagine because I've managed to get a plot with 2 rivers that putting the tree farm in the corner here, it shouldn't need any watering. Not so sure about there, but let's try it. Sometimes you just have to experiment. Yeah, so that one's fine. So that's obviously getting water from this river and water from this river. So maybe this is where we're going to pop our trees. We'll put our trees down here. Yeah, they're both growing. And we'll look to get rid of these and replace these with tree farms, and we'll have a corner here. Lots of trees going on. We'll have a road coming up either side, and they can get in and out. But yeah, let's get the. Trying to make this a bit of a square now, so let's get the. Put a road here, and we'll look at moving this farmhouse elsewhere. Just starting to sort of tidy things up bit by bit whilst we wait for some more cash to come in. Meanwhile, we've been using the energy, we've been using the water drums and the crude oil, and our chap's just going to pop in another energy, well, an energy there. So I could probably turn this water facility back on for now. We've got some wool ready to sell. Yeah, things are about to start motoring now. We'll be almost up to 3 figures of cash. Which then gives us options. Where can we get? Alright, if I put a road here, again I always look if I can get, once I've built a road, well, where I'm looking to build a road, it's nice if you can get 1, 2, 3 plots around it, because then you can build 3 things. So for now, we need to keep the energy going. So I need these wind turbines. $70,000. We're rich. And straight away we've already got one wool in there. We've got some more on the go. I am going to look at moving these silos and the wood store to be closer to speed all this up as well. But I may just use the money for the time being to clear a bit more sort of the land. So maybe we can get rid of this tree, put another feed mill in, maybe clear this tree, put a road in, start connecting the dots, so to speak. Later on we'll get rid of the rocks, but they cost a lot of money, so that'll come much later when we've got more money in. So let's activate these wind farms. They do take a while, but that's the whole point. I just not worrying too much about the fact that they're red. It's the most time they're going to take, and just actually getting them underway. So the petroleum, yeah, you know, he's doing his thing. We've got 7 energy in the warehouse. We've got 11 water drums between the 2 warehouses. Petroleum, he's created 4 barrels of that so far, which is good. We're down to 5 crude oils. We've got 3 in the one over here, and we've got 2 in here. Can perhaps look at clearing this tree and putting another crude oil in for now, just to keep the crude oil levels up. The tree farms are doing all right. Yeah, so effectively, what we're going to be doing now is spending a lot of the cash. What I prefer to do is spending a lot of time on clearing trees. That's going to be my main focus, to create a bit of an infrastructure. And it doesn't have to be perfect. I know this isn't perfect. There's other videos which will show you, you know, I'm sure different grid patterns, but this works for me. Within a couple of hours, this is pretty much self-sufficient now. I mean, all I need to do to create gasoline is switch the craft from petroleum over to gasoline. What I'd recommend you don't do is just to click stop, because if he's put 2 crude oils into the refinery, if I click stop, those disappear. They don't get put back into storage, they disappear. So it's best to wait until it's finished this production, and then it's at a new cycle. Then you can stop it and switch to a different choice, such as gasoline or jet fuel, for example. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to wait for him to go and pick up his energy, which I think is after a couple of energy. Then we can switch it and create our first gasoline, and then you know, that's pretty much hot to trot. All we will need from that point onwards, you know, you can basically end up with 2 refineries, and you can have one refinery kicking out gasoline, the other refinery kicking out petroleum. So you've got petroleum going in, and then this, you know, this can be the gasoline one, and he's picking up the petroleum to make the gasoline. That's the ideal scenario, and that's, you know, what we can look to work towards as the game progresses. Yeah, still a bit miffed about that tree farm down there, but hey ho. Yeah, like I said, I can clear these tree farms out here, but there's other trees that are probably need removing first, to be perfectly honest. Right, so I'm just going to stop the crafting quickly before he gets back, and he'll take the crude oil back now. Thank you very much. And for now, start crafting gasoline. So he's taking the petroleum. He'll need 1 of those. He'll need 2 water drums and 6 energy. So it is energy intensive, which is why we have lots of these wind farms on the go. And to be honest, probably need a few more. So I'll clear this marsh here. I'll create a bit of road. And I will be able to get 4 wind farms around this one. Or wind turbines, but plenty of wind turbines creates a wind farm, so do forgive me for keep saying that one. So we just need the builders to pull their finger out at the minute. And then we will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 wind turbines on the go. So that should keep us with all of our energy needs for a while. And if you do nothing else, then this will keep you sort of ticking over and well, self-sufficient, and if all you're trying to do is earn some town coin each day from NFTs, all you would need to do is click in here. You know, I can pop an NFT in here, for example, pop one of these in, place it in there, and you know, I will earn money from that. That's it. That's all you need to do. Obviously I'm showing this without NFTs, so I'll just send that back, but you get the gist. Let's get these wind turbines activated. You know, I could look to build a road just up from here, just to make the walk a bit quicker for the people harvesting / collecting the energy. Anyway, I'm going to get rid of this troublesome one. And this one. And then let's get another feed mill in there. Activate that wind turbine, and he just needs one more energy and he's away with our first batch of gasoline. Meanwhile, just need one more back at the ranch, just need one more wool. So let's watch him here. He's going to take the energy in. You'll see it's firing up. And the gasoline is underway. So we've got 17 gasoline at the minute. And when he's finished, he'll go and pop it in the fuel storage here because it's the closest one. And then we will have some more. There you go, 17 will become 18. That's our gasoline done. So this town is pretty much self-sufficient now. We're creating our wool, we're creating our water and our crude oil and our energy to create petroleum, to create gasoline. The only thing I say you need to do at the minute is you need to craft petroleum for a while. Then once you've got so much petroleum, then you're going to want to craft gasoline. But that's essentially it. So the only thing you need to do, if you're looking at doing this on a sort of short time budget, as it were, the only thing you'd need to do now is, once you've got it set up, is to come in, go over to your truck and sell your goods, which should be selling your wool. So let's sell our wool. You would then want to craft petroleum for a while. Once you've maybe filled up your fuel storage with petroleum, then you can switch to gasoline, and it'll obviously clear out the petroleum and make gasoline and put gasoline back in. As long as you keep your gasoline production up, then you can always go to the market and sell your products and your goods. So yeah, we'll call it the end of part 2. So we've gone from selling more wool to gasoline production now. If you join me in part 3, I'll be taking you through sort of the next steps, how to speed things up. So I'll be looking at adding water pumps for the refineries. If, depending on time, we may be able to look at getting the power plant added, for example. We may look at getting a second refinery, one for petroleum, one for gasoline, to automate it even more. We may then, as we're earning more money, we may then look at paving a few more roads. We may look to bring another sheep pen into the fold, maybe add a few more wheat fields and a few more farmers, and just sort of intensify the farming and get that underway as well. So lots of things we can do. Even if you just stop at this point, you've got a fully functioning town if you've followed the steps that I've done so far. If you're interested in getting started, you can get started. It's free to play. You can go to getgala.co.uk. It's on the screen for you now. Getgala.co.uk. If you want to earn town coin, the cheapest way of doing it is to buy Gala Gold, which is a one-off payment of $50 plus any sort of associated network fees. That will give you an express depot, an express trade depot, which you can replace this one with. That will then earn you 1 town coin per day. Obviously it depends on the price of town coin. It was up at over $2 a few months ago. Hopefully it'll get back there within a few months' time. No guarantees, of course, but the crypto world is in a bad spot at the moment. We're having a bit of a cold winter. Hopefully it's not too long and too hard, and when everything hopefully comes back around, as these cycles have tended to prove so far, hopefully the town coin, if it doesn't matter if you're only accumulating 1 town coin per day and that's only worth, whether it's 20 cents, 30, 40, 50 cents, doesn't matter. If that town coin at a future date is worth $5, then it'll be a very worthwhile use of your time. Obviously no guarantees that can happen, or will happen, should I say, but fingers and toes crossed based on other play to earn games that have gone before. Anyway, I hope that's been of use. Please do like and consider subscribing, and I will see you on the next video. And thanks very much and take care. See you on the next one.